go live to when it pops up and says, hey, you're live. I'll tell you that. So, hello, I'm live, and I am here to discuss the fantastic JD Estrada. He is a author friend of mine, and so there's a disclaimer. I am biased because I know him. But even if I hadn't, had that experience of knowing him, which is an experience, I'd still like his books and be here to tell you about them. I spilled on myself. Anyway, that's what I expect of myself, which is why I wear black. And in the spirit of my friend JD Estrada, I am doing this live despite the fact that I have a cough and despite the fact that I'm spilling on myself. I'm usually somebody who, as a YouTuber, I edit. I have edited out so many ums and ahs and awkward things, and I've spilling tea, I've edited that out. You know what? Screw all that crap. I'm taking a page from the JD Estrada no editing thing, and that's what I'm doing as far as videos go. That's here we are. So okay. I have read a lot of his books. Up till this point, I think I've read every poetry book. There might be, actually, wait, he has one in Spanish. I haven't done that. And you know what I'm going to do? I am saying right now that I'm going to attempt to learn some Spanish. Why not? I think that would be a really useful skill to have. Alright, good. I just had to double check my microphone because I didn't remember to do that, and sometimes I forget to make sure that it's recording. Anyway, I am going to try to learn some Spanish so that I can read that. It's just the right thing to do. So anyway, I've read a bunch of his poetry, and the thing about the poetry is I write poetry, and so I think that I might be a little bit more critical than some people because of that. But with him, he always has a line in there that's just like, bam, hits you in the face. And I go, I may not have thought about it that way, but it lines up to my sensibilities, and I enjoy that. And then I put it into my brain head, and I try to implement it. Which is a good thing in a friend and a good thing in a piece of literature. So both of those things are good to have. I have posted quotes that I really liked on my Goodreads page. I've liked quotes, and you can by all means look at his page. I'm going to link it once this is live on my YouTube. I will link his stuff there so that you can see it, because he has a lot of things that he says that really resonate with me, so maybe they will. One of the things that I really like about him is that he doesn't need to deny the darkness to try to smile and be positive anyway. I think that that's a very admirable quality, and as far as a moral of a story, that's something that I can agree with. I don't like if somebody's trying to whitewash something or to try to make it less dark than it is, or diminish the pain in any way. But I do like when somebody is able to say, yeah, this sucks and it's painful, and sometimes things happen, and it doesn't always have to happen for a reason. They just happen. And now, what are you going to do? And so you can sit there and have a stew about it, and then you can find ways to laugh about it. And I think that JD does that fantastically. He always finds a thread in the darkness to pull and to keep pulling until eventually there's joy again. So I think that's deep stuff. So I really like that element of the poetry. So I just finished a novel that he wrote. And the novel is called Only Human. It is part of a series. He has 2 of them finished, 2 books, and he is working on a 3rd for that series. So I just started the 2nd book right afterwards. I couldn't handle it. I got to the end of book 1, and I was in public. Okay, that's the worst place to finish a book. But sometimes it happens. But there I am. I'm sitting there reading in public. Last chapter, last 10%, because I have it on Kindle, so it's percentage, not pages. And my jaw was just jaw dropped. So I immediately had to find the next book in the series and start it. So I looked up what it's considered. On Amazon, one of the books in the series is categorized as science fiction and another one is fantasy. I think that really speaks to how the book is. The book could be science fiction, it could be fantasy. It's both, and just accept it. So I really like that because it has some urban fantasy, because it starts off in the real world with this pretty mundane reporter guy with his crappy life, and then all hell breaks loose and he's kidnapped by a vampire, and then more hell breaks loose. And I like that at every stage of the book, more and more hell breaks loose. That makes for a good story. And I know that I have seen some people criticize it. I've read other reviews and stuff. I haven't written my review yet because I was so flabbergasted and just like mind blown when I read it that it's kind of taking me a second, because there's so many layers to the book, and it's a hefty read. There's a lot to digest, and I don't want to give just a here's your stars, good luck, brother. I want to say something about it because it really moved me. Oh, hello, Joe. Thank you for joining. We're talking about J.D. Estrada, and right now, Only Human. So, one of my favorite, I'm waiting for the Double Bananas, the companion book. That would be fun. I think there's a couple characters, there were the side characters that really shone. There's Captain Jane. Freaking love Captain Jane, and the Corsairs. They are on a ship of ships. It's a pirate ship, and I could say so much about that, but why not? This is all in JD's honor, and you know what? He's a fan of a rant. I'm a fan of a rant. We're ranting. So the friggin' ship, man, it's a pirate ship, and I'm really fascinated. I want to know how they got the ship. I know that they're gonna tell me. He's gonna tell me. No, I'm gonna try not to. I'm gonna try not to reveal spoilers. But I think that it's okay to say characters. You know, I think that's okay. Don't want to reveal spoilers. That's what's really hard talking about something, especially when you're passionate about it, and you have to try to rope it back in. I'm just talking about the characters that I like, and their awesome pirate ship, and the awesome Corsairs, and the Corsairs are the crew of the pirate ship. I won't say more, because if you say more about them, then it is spoilering. I know, Joe, thank you, because it's so easy. It's so easy to start spoilering. It's not a word. See, if I was not live, I could just edit that out. But anyway, so I really enjoyed the Corsairs a lot. Like, the whole idea of them is really, really cool. Oh, no, you didn't make me self-conscious. I just, you did make me more aware that I don't want a spoiler, which is also part of how it's hard to write a good review. The art of the book review is fascinating, because it's hard to explain all the parts of something that touched you and moved you and excited you without saying, hey, here's all the parts. Enjoy the spoilers. Oh, hi Joshua. The whole crew's here. Two crew. You haven't read it at all yet? You are in for a treat. I hadn't read it. It took me a long time because I have a huge to be read list. So big. I did read a lot of his poetry books because for me, when I read one of his poetry books, I just devour it. I have my, whiskey and I sit down and I have that night and I just friggin' read the whole thing and that's how I am with that. But with a novel, it takes a little bit longer, and so I had such a huge to be read list. I still have a bunch of Joshua's books that I want to read. And I've read a lot of his books too, but I'm in the middle of a series. And of course, since the new one's coming out, I think I have to skip ahead and read that because Anarfell was a bit... that was one of my top books that I read last year. So how am I supposed to not read that? It's really hard to balance the to-be read list. And then I had the library books, and I just stopped getting books from the library because I just have too many books that I'm trying to read now. It's so hard. Oh, God. Well, it didn't take me that long to read Only Human. Even though it is a big book, it took a couple days because it was really engaging. There's so many things that happen. There's every chapter has so much stuff. And I think that one of the things that JD is good at is having the way he describes things is really colorful. Kind of like if you were to have a conversation with JD, he says some colorful things. So it makes it fun, but it also makes me go back and read it again and go, oh, that's an interesting way of putting that. I have to remember that for later. So I like that. I have to read what you said. Oh yes, I read Black Tie Affair too. That's another of JD's books. That was a really good book. It had a lot of good lines in it. And thank you about Bright Needles. That one, Bright Needles was my first book that I published, and it was like throwing down my gauntlet in the sand. of saying that I'm going to say whatever I want and be honest and bold and reckless. Because once you publish Bright Needles, man, you're done. You can't be walking through the flower gardens after that. So. Oh, and thank you. I think it just said that Joshua is my #1 fan. So, thank you for being my #1 fan. Everybody needs one of those. It's like a delayed response or something, I think, when you liked it. But, I like that. Duh. It's always good to have those #1 fans. Trying to think, It's so hard to talk about it without spoiling. God, hate that. Urgh. Obviously, I've had a lot of caffeine. Now, let's see. Oh, another character. I can talk about characters. There's a doctor called Liam in the book, and I really liked him too. And he always smoked a cigarette, which I thought was a clever thing, because then I always knew it was him. So there was the cigarette. Like, of course, there's another one that smokes a cigarette named Bill, but they were really easy to tell apart. So, that wasn't difficult. But God, you just can't talk without reading stuff. Oh, you have to go. Okay. Well, have a nice evening. Thanks for being here for a minute. I think it's an okay evening. It's overcast. Yep, have a good evening. Ta-ta. I think I'm rambling on for 15 minutes. Good for me. That can be a very difficult feat. Wow. Yeah, and all about that. All about one topic. That's really good. Especially when I consider that I spend a lot of time not talking. I store it all up. So I guess that I should do my Author 365. Let's just throw that on the end here too. Okay, Author 365. Yeah, I have to go back to work too, Joshua. I can't keep chatting forever. I'm just trying to get at least one video up a week, and this is it. So my Author 365. Bleh. I got a planner. Ta-da! And so I started writing down my little word counts and all that stuff. I don't know that it's really that necessary. I think that it's just for those who really enjoy stickers and things, because my program keeps track of my word count, of course, but I am able to reward myself with star stickers, so there's that. Let's see, what else? I have been working on, I'll talk about the young, I think the last time I talked about the 365 I did the romance, so let's talk about the young adult one that I'm doing. I have it all plotted out, of course, because I'm me, and I have been working on, oh, you can't see, there's all of my plot points. There, I just give it away. And when I do that, it's all subject to change. If I come up with a better idea, I use that. But once I do that and I write that scene, then I come in with my handy dandy highlighter and I highlight it, and for some reason it makes me feel so much better about life. More than even the planner, which I think that it's because next time I get a planner, I'm going to get a big planner, because this little planner is kind of hard for me to write in. This one, even this much bigger, is a better size for me. But these highlighters, these make an author very happy. They are monsters, and they are scented, and they're cute, and they're colorful, and every time I finish a scene and get to use my highlighter, it makes me so happy. I can't even tell you. So happy. I did have a friend ask, in real life, a real life friend, if I get tired of writing. Because I showed him my latest book and he thought, wow, you're really prolific. Do you ever get tired of writing? And I thought, no, I don't. No, that's crazy. I mean, I I guess I can understand, but I don't. No, I don't. I've always been this way. If I didn't do this, I would go crazy. I wouldn't like life very much. And I'm really excited when I get to get my point across exactly the way that I want to get it across. And the only way that I can do that is through writing, because you're having a conversation. Sometimes it's harder to do that because you can't distill exactly what you want to say down. Things get muddy and emotions come out, and that's never where I shine. So no, I never get tired of it. I hope that is true forever, because if it's not, that would be a sad life, considering. Alright, well, I guess that is pretty much it, because I have a lot of scenes that I'm supposed to get done. I have to do quite a bit more writing today. It's only 5 o'clock for me, so I'm going to do that, and I hope that you have a wonderful time writing. I understand about that to-do list. It hangs over your head. I gotta get it done. Oh, and you're going to a con tomorrow. Have fun. That's awesome. Alright. I'm going to work. I'm going to link JD stuff down in my stuff on YouTube, so check them out. And I'm going to finish this tea. I'm probably going to make more tea. So, yes, have a good evening. Goodbye.